Welcome to another episode from the Critics Collective. I'm Ron, and we are talking a small budget, I want to say indie film, newcomer, maybe type of thing. I don't know much about this, but I was on Peacock scrolling, looking for something holiday, and saw Christmas for the Soul. So we'll talk about Christmas for the Soul 2025. Now, I know we are doing a another collective of Christmas movies as we go through the month of December, similar to what we did to Halloween. But this just made me kind of think, hey, you know what? Let me look at a movie that doesn't have the same budget maybe as someone else. Maybe it's their first time directing or doing a big piece this way, whatever the case is. So for this one, it's a comedy slash drama, mostly. It's basically like a holiday rom com, basically no different than any Hallmark type of feel good movie, Lifetime movie thing that you're thinking of. I think the running time is close to an hour and 25, hour and 27 minutes, give or take. The storyline is Leslie, a soul food chef at Papa's Cafe, receives a special invitation to cook Christmas dinner at the Shaws. The Shaws, a wealthy family aiming to buy up the neighborhood. When the CEO, Justin Shaw, goes missing, family feuds erupt over his successor, leaving Leslie, the pregnant chef, caught in the middle of Shaw's dysfunctional Christmas family feud. This was an interesting setup. There's a lot there. Again, I literally not looking for this, not like this in general. I'm not, that's my goal. This Christmas, my goal is to find a movie that is just a feel good movie. If you're Black, if you're a person of color, and it's just wholesome. There's no dysfunctional. There's no family. Maybe you're dealing with your own trauma, but the family's great, right? Like think Wonderful Life, right? He was dealing with his own trauma. The rest of the world was great. He just needed to understand that. That's it. But then you look at like Almost Christmas and you're like, or The Preacher's Wife, you're like, was the preacher trying to get down with Whitney? Wait, wait, was he an angel? I don't know. It's just trauma. Anyways, so I'm gonna tell you my lows on this, and then I'm gonna tell you my highs or rate it from 0 to 5. Now, when I rate this and when I look at this at a different lens. Okay. Whether it's a streaming movie or straight to DVD or it's in a theater, we look at it from a different lens. I like to think here in the Critics Collective. If it is a movie that I feel like, hey, this may be low budget, this may be an indie, this may be whatever it is, and kind of in that realm, then I look at it differently. So just understand that. Um, the lows for this, less is better. What I mean by less is better. There were moments where there were camera angles done, and I was like, it didn't add to the scene. It was cool, but it didn't add to the scene. There's a scene, I'm not going to spoil anything. There's a scene where like there's something happened in the living room, and the camera goes from the one room, because you know some rooms have two, door entryways. It goes from one part, and you can see the frame from the building or the room, and it goes through it, and then it takes you into the other room, and you go that way. And it's a nice scene. It's a very nice scene for what looks like a low budget type of thing. Very nice, clean scene. But it didn't. To me, it didn't add to the scene. It took away because there's a moment happening in the living room, and we're not a part of that moment immediately. Um, there was some scenes where it looked like there was drones that were giving you aerial. There was B footage in certain locations, and it's okay because it paints that location. But if it goes on too long, it stretches it out. So it makes me think that, again, I've said this before, for rom coms and for comedies, that hour and 20 minutes, that hour and 30 minutes is the sweet spot. So when I see you in general like stretching out B footage, it makes me think, man, if we would have just removed this, we could have got a quicker pace, and that would have added to what we were putting together. Um, some of the it was jarring at first because even my wife was like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "It's a rom com." Are you sure? I'm like, I think it is, because the way it starts off at the beginning is, and I'm assuming they use like free property to showcase destructions of building. I thought it was like, somebody was going to pop up and say, for just 10 cents a day, you can help Ron and other people here at the Critics Collective by just hitting the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. We'd love you to be a part of our collective family. I was like, what are we doing? But then once it started, I was like, oh, okay, they're trying to paint the tension of what this big corporation has done to this smaller city, this smaller community. And I got that. Cool. Then some of it was a little bit of the chemistry, like it was there, but the direction, something could have been different. Like, not spoiling anything, she's pregnant. So early on, she's talking, but it looks like she's talking to herself. You don't know that she's talking to the baby. And so for me, I was like, who the fuck is she talking to? I'm like, does she have like a mental health issue? Is that a part of the thing that's gonna be interesting? Um, is she um talking to maybe like an urn or something on the table, because I see it's directed at the table, because she's making, like, at the beginning she's making French toast, and I make some delicious ass French toast. I'm just saying. Um, I'll give you a tip: buy ice cream, right? Buy your favorite ice cream. You can go low budget ice cream, doesn't matter. Let the ice cream thaw out in a bowl, right? Not the whole thing, just the amount that you would make the custard, because you really, that's what you're making. You're making kind of a custard for the French toast. And whether you use that orangish, grayish, whatever bread, or you use Texas toast or regular bread, those are three. I'm giving you some tips here. Those three kind of breads you can use right there. Take the ice cream, let it sit in the bowl, let it get room temperature, not cold, room temperature, right? And then dip your bread in that and throw that motherfucker on the skillet. I prefer an iron skillet, but use a skillet, griddle, whatever. Throw that motherfucker on there. It will change your life. If you're sitting there saying, I want to impress somebody, she's sleeping, I just put it down until the sun, you did what you had to do, and you want to make her breakfast in bed, or maybe you want to make him breakfast in bed with some grits on the side or something. I don't know. And you're like, I don't got nothing. I don't know how to use it. Ice cream, few scoops, bowl, room temperature, medium heat, drop the bread on it. Bomb. You ain't got to put nothing else on it. Don't add no cinnamon. Don't add, and it works with vanilla. People don't realize how important vanilla is until you are in an economy where vanilla is expensive because of inflation. So the movie starts with this, and it gets into, and what I was saying was, she was talking to her baby. Okay. She was pregnant. She was talking to her baby the whole time. I didn't know. So there was that. I thought the lead did a really good job. I thought the scenes were nice and thought of. Sometimes in a lower budget, you don't get the scenes thought out, as far as, the actor, the scene, the script, but then the background doesn't match it. The background matched it throughout the whole movie. I like that. Everybody was dressed well. I thought it was really good lighting. At times it felt like it was, they were working with what they had, but I really enjoyed it overall. Um, when you get to the end for the story, I'm not going to spoil anything. I thought it was a good way to end it. Sometimes with a low budget, you get to the end and you're like, there's no ending. It's ridiculous. And you're like, I just watch all this for no reason. I thought it was good. I thought it was good for what it was. Like I said before, there was some editing issues. There was some B-roll that went a little long. Even at the end of the movie, there's some kind of like a blooper-ish type thing that happens at the credits, stay for the credits. Not to say that again, it's too much. It could be just this team really enjoyed putting this together and they had an opportunity to do this. And if I was doing something, I don't know crap about directing and writing or whatever, I feel like I would have done the same thing. I would have taken advantage of the opportunity I had and do it. So let's go ahead and rate this. Here we rate from a 0 to a 5. Like I said in the beginning, because it is a different budget movie, in my opinion. We do not rate it the same. We don't hold it to the same weight. It's kind of like, taking a test and they're like, well, it impacts this much of your grade. Well, Mr. Ron, what does the grade impact on this one? Christmas for the Soul 2025 on Peacock, with a runtime about an hour and 25, hour and 30 minutes, give or take. I would rate this a 3. This is average. It's a rom-com. It's one of the better ones I've seen kind of in this budget thing. And again, some people are like, well, Tubi, this is where you go for Tubi. No, mother effer. Tubi's owned by a big company. If you didn't know, now you know. Okay. Tubi's not the only place you can go watch independent films. I think every streaming company has it. You're going to see that push for that to happen more because one, I believe it's cost efficient. And two, a lot of people, they just want to be entertained. So put content out. Any content is good content. That's what I heard from a very smart executive producer, creator type of person. But anyways, You could have been anywhere in the world. And matter of fact, while you're here, if you could hit the subscribe button, go ahead, do it. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, tell me what you thought about the movie, or maybe there's another holiday movie you're watching. I greatly appreciate it. To the team that made this movie, great job, bravo, because I've never made a movie, never written a movie, and I don't know what I'm doing. So you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Until next time.